Orange team.
Oh my gosh. Way better late than never, right? Maybe. Sorry I'm so late, guys. I put in the comments. My 6-year-old was fighting the good fight against sleep, and he was winning. He was not going down. So thank y'all for being here. This is Whiskey Wednesday, sort of. We are live from our basements, as Mike likes to say. Well, I'm live from my basement. Mike was lazy and didn't want to hang out, I guess, with you guys. What's up, Jason? I saw Nick's in here. Awesome to see you guys. Anyways, we are here. I am here. We're doing just like a quick thing tonight because we always do something on Wednesdays, and I kind of didn't want to not do something on Wednesday. And but tonight the full 42 had some like scheduling stuff, so they moved their normal Monday live stream to tonight, and they gave us a heads up and everything. They'll start at 9. I'm actually going to go watch it when I'm done here. But you know, I kind of still wanted to do something. Mike and I are going to have a regular shtick tomorrow. We're going to have a top 5 topic, something, whatever. And yeah, we're going to rock and roll then and go with it. And yeah, Nick, you're right. They're only 6 once. This is my second time with a 6-year-old. My last time, unless it's grandkids. Hopefully that's a very long way away. But yeah, he is absolutely being a sweetheart and super cute. But it's one of those things where, like, if I didn't have something to do, I wouldn't have cared. Like, we just kind of would have rolled with it a little bit. But yeah, so we are. So yeah, I'm here. He's still awake, but he's watching some Nailed It, and I think Mom went in and intervened. But take a Wednesday and Thursday off. Dan, can't you join us on a Thursday? And I could do it most Friday nights, honestly. Would you guys watch on Friday if we did a thing on Friday? Let us know. Because I can't always make like our game night. So when I, do what I can. Oh, shoot. Tequila Thursday. I just was going to say Thirsty Thursday. Team Underwater Cities. Yeah. Yeah, Underwater Cities is the real deal, man. It's kind of a it's kind of a terraforming Mars killer. That's what I was trying to think of. Kind of is. And yeah, somebody from Facebook said yes. I'm assuming that means that they can do Fridays. They can watch on a Friday. I'm not gonna hit the whiskey tonight because I save it for tomorrow, man. I'm in for the long haul tomorrow. But yeah, so tonight while I'm here, figure I'll just kind of interact with you guys. What's up, Jazz? Good to see you. I haven't seen you in a little bit, so welcome back. Thanks for showing up. Do me a favor, Andrew F. Like this video. Give us a thumbs up on this video. I know I've only got one right now, and it's like at least 3 or 4 of you watching. So if y'all could give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down on the video. I was late. I deserve a thumbs down. I was late. I hate being late. But, life happens sometimes. Anyways, so yeah, I'm here. I'm going to do a little bit of news, some interesting things. First of all, super excited. Friend of the show, Sam Stockton, BA Games, his long-awaited Forges of Ravenshire has hit Kickstarter and already funded. It funded in like the first 8 hours, if even that. We knew it would. It's going to be super good. And I just hope that campaign continues to be successful. Also, Chemical Overload funded. That's got a few days left on their Kickstarter, like maybe 8. Worn Wanderers, Wave funded. That's got like 2 days left. So just some of the things that we've seen recently that have actually gone live on Kickstarter. They're out there. They're doing well. They're successful. They're all games that I think everybody in the group really liked. I mean, Forges especially. I mean, everybody loved Forges, freaking out over Forges. I think Bob's going to go in on a crazy backer level. I'm just calling the shot right there. Bob, I'm calling you out if you're watching. But yeah, so all really good news and very happy for all of those creators and designers, because it's really, really hard to make a game, and it's even harder to make a really good game, right? And so you get a consensus of people. They're all excited about it. We're all pumping it up, because we don't always agree on games, right? I mean, that's the beauty about the format of the show and the way we do things. Got a bunch of different opinions. Uh, you know, uh, Mike has pretty good taste in games. Bob has pretty good taste in games. Dan does most of the time. Um, but they're all wrong because they all hate my favorite games, but that's okay. Um, oh, Jason, is this Bob's first Kickstarter game? No, oh my God. You know what? That's a good trivia question. What was Bob's first Kickstarter game? Dang. Oh man. It's got to go back to 2012 because he and I both hit the ground running with that Kickstarter. Uh, my first one was not Cthulhu Wars. That was actually my second one. My first one was for a very small game called Laser Cats, based on the SNL sketch, basically, of Laser Cats, which I thought was hilarious. And yeah, it's a goofy little card game made by like I believe the guy was like a dentist. But yeah, love it, love it, love it. Facebook user, I don't know who you are, but you are right. Dan does not like good games, or at least not the fun ones. He likes some good games, but the really fun ones, he doesn't like to have fun. So there is that. There is that. A little bit of news kind of hit today that I thought was really interesting, mostly because I am a content creator and this involved content creators. So, I mean, the biggest content creators, the Dice Tower. But I was kind of curious on like what everybody's opinion on this was. So the basically like the public relations uh, rep for like Madigo and Colossal and there's a couple others that he's in charge of. But his name is Matty, and he's at Lost My Meeples. At Lost My Meeples is his Twitter handle. And the full 42. Did I say the full 42 or the new 52? What? Oh boy. I don't know. I don't know, David. I'm thrown off now. Anyways, so you, Maddie, was getting. Oh, that comment about Dan not. Maddie was getting some heat today because he did not like. Well, no. Let's just put it this way. Jason from Board Game Mechanics, who I'm assuming is right there, he sent me a little heads up, and so Dice Tower did a review of the big box, the Western Legends big box, and it's just literally the box and the wooden insert that comes with it, nothing else. So if you were to back that on Kickstarter like a year ago or whatever that was, that might have been Bob's first Kickstarter. Just kidding. But if you'd have backed that big box that's supposed to hold like everything for the game, and then but then gives you this nice like wooden insert, kind of like a Broken Token or a Daedalus insert. Uh, they did a review of that. It was like a $60 Kickstarter pledge, and Dice Tower did this review, and they did not like it. They were less than enthused. I forget the name of the female that did it. She was really good and very thorough. And then there was another gentleman. They weren't like two of the main regulars, and I don't watch a ton of Dice Tower, so I apologize for not getting their names. But they gave a very just straightforward. These are things with you're going to encounter. Things to look out for. They thought the instructions were bad because the instructions were based on a different layout than what the final version of the wooden laser cut bits were. So like you got the instruction sheet, and it's made around that all of these pieces are laid out in the same board that you're going to then punch out. Well, they must have changed that, because then when they did the instructions based on basically like the first edition of that, and then when they changed it, they didn't update the instructions, so you're not getting the pieces out of the same parts where you thought you were, right? So it just makes it a little harder, a little more difficult to suss out, figure out. And then oh, there we go. So anyways, and then there was there was some brittle pieces in there because they didn't use like a super high quality wood, but I guess. Oh, okay. So here you go, Jason. Yeah. So the Dice Tower did this review. I watched it. I don't watch a ton of Dice Tower stuff, and it's not like, oh, I'm too good for them or whatever. It's just I was just doing a ton of other stuff. So here's the thing. I don't I watched the review, thought the review was fine, perfectly fine, right? Because as content creators, myself included, we want to give our honest opinions, whether they're popular or not. A lot of times, it's easy for us because we try to talk about games we like most of the time. But I mean, we definitely have some games that we did not like, or we did not all like at the very least. And so it happens. It happens. I try not to review like an independent designer's game that I hate or that it's going to Kickstarter, because I would just say, we saw it, it wasn't, I didn't like it. I'm not going to make a whole video, wrecking somebody's prototype that's trying to make it. But Colossal's a big boy. They've got plenty of games in their catalog. They'll be fine. Except here's the problem. People started tweeting at Lost My Meeples and at Matty. And I've met him. He's a nice guy. I've talked to him at both Origins and Gen Con. Super nice guy, very friendly. But people were basically like threatening this guy. At least one of the comments that I saw, and just talking about how, he's going to go and he's going to ruin this guy. And this guy's on social media and has platforms. And yeah, so it's like, there's that fine line of, going, hey, I got a problem. This thing was junk. I backed this. This thing was junk, and I don't like it. And another thing going, and just like threatening to, just destroy this guy's livelihood, which is not really fair to him, I don't think, because that's not the guy who made it. He just is the mouthpiece, for all of these companies, all together. Anyways, yeah, Camilla, Camilla, she was really good. I really liked her. And yeah, Dan, 100% agree. And that's, hopefully what we do with our show, and explain why we think something's bad if we can, or like why it didn't, maybe it didn't click or whatever. Anyways, I just thought it was interesting because we did a video last year that was like top 10 overrated games, and we got absolutely butchered in the comment section. Not really in our own comment section as much. We did get some, pretty good comments in there that were not enthusiastic about our thoughts and opinions, but it was more like our video got shared on a Facebook group by some people that were like, can you believe these bozos, and and so I have been on the receiving end of a lot of something similar to that. And I thought, well, that's not totally fair, right? I mean, yes, we put ourselves out there. We create something. We go out here. We talk to you. We interact with you guys. So we put ourselves out there. But so there's going to be definitely some give and take. And you got to be thick-skinned about it. You got to have a good sense of humor about it. I mean, hell, they made a video why I was wrong, specifically me, and it was fine. It was hilarious and super fun. And I did a rebuttal, which actually kind of was one of the seedlings, right, that led to what we do now every week. But yeah, I was just kind of curious what everybody else thought, if anybody else had seen it. I'm always kind of just like wanting to know or wanting to see people's reactions, and what, because I will have my own reaction, but then sometimes I will have a conversation with somebody else and it's like, oh wait, maybe my first impression wasn't right, or or maybe my reaction wasn't strong enough. Like, oh, this was way worse than I thought. Totally happens. And yeah, Nix, I mean, you're totally right. But at the same time, if like we got some pretty gnarly backlash on that video. Like one guy, I don't know who he worked with, but he was like, I'm going to be telling other people not to work with them and stuff. And it's like, I don't know who he talks to. We have plenty of people we talk to. We will be able to keep generating content despite our giant clown shoes that we wear to the table, I guess. But was the is that big box been out for a year, David? I just saw that thing today, but um, but also like it is pretty disappointing. You if if Western Legends is like your if you are if that's your lifestyle game and you get that insert right and you're like hyped up for it, because I've gotten wooden inserts for games. I've got at least one or two broken tokens and one Daedalus, say one for my Gloomhaven, and they're awesome. They're awesome. You know, it's a lot to put together, but they're super cool. But yeah, I mean, it's sort of, to me, it's like it's kind of a double or triple whammy, right? You spend $60 on this thing. That's one. That's not nothing. That's a whole game, right? That's a board game. Um, then you wait a bunch of months for it because Kickstarter is essentially a pre-order, especially with a known quantity like Colossal, right? You knew a Western Legends thing was going to fund. It's not like that was like oh, are they going to do okay? Like, no, they're going to be fine. And then you wait. You've got anticipation. And then if you're not the first wave to get that game or get that insert, and then you're seeing other people like start to complain, then the dread starts to set in like, oh no, like, what am I in for? What's happening? And so, you know, I've been pretty lucky and have had pretty good luck with my Kickstarters. Like I haven't been screwed over on one yet, but I mean, I still haven't gotten all my Peter Gabe stuff. Fingers crossed. I like them as people, but they've really had to adjust how they do business because not always making great choices. Um, but yeah, have you guys been burned on Kickstarters before? Because you know, whether it didn't show or yeah, it was just a flat out disappointment. And Trevor, while everybody's thinking about that, yeah, negative reviews are kind of fun. Um, and they can be fun. It is. We had a pseudo negative review for a game. We did this whole review. Dan knows what I'm talking about. I'm so mad because we did this video like 2 weeks ago, and we had an issue and didn't none of the audio recorded. And this review probably went as long as it did to play the game, and it's all because we were so passionate about it and our feelings were so strong about this game, and the mixed feelings that it gave us. I'm not going to spoil it because we are going to go back and redo that video. We just haven't yet. Um, but yeah, it can be fun. It can be fun to do a negative. Also, what I like really, I like when we don't all agree and we can just, because then if we're all giving a negative review and we're all kicking this game and go like, blah, it was terrible and blah blah blah, and you know, mobile markets, smartphone mobile markets, if we all hated it across the board, um, it stops being fun, you know, digging on that game after a minute. But if we if like one of us doesn't like it and everybody else kind of does, it's a little more fun because we're like, wait a minute, you like, you know, what do you not like? It just to pick into the arguments, right, and go back and forth and stuff. It's part of the reason why I wanted to have like more of a panel format, right? Because then we could all kind of go back and forth. We could share all our opinions, and we could go, oh, good God, Dan. Yeah, exactly, Dan. That's exactly what I'm talking about. It's not better than smartphone. You just hate smartphone because you don't like great games. Yeah, Foundations of Rome, Bobby. Yeah, that's the one game I don't like that everybody else in the entire world but me likes. And that's fine. That's fine. Arcane Wonders is going to be cool because they made a, hopefully, I don't know actually if they made a ton of money off Foundations of Rome, because that seems like a break even kind of proposition there with the production value. I have to imagine that the profit margin on a game like that uh, has to be really tough, and why that you can basically only get it at conventions and on Kickstarter, because you can't. Man, that's an expensive game. That's an expensive game. Even the regular version without everything. Very well made, very well designed, and I don't like it. Um, yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of stuff like that, right? And but oh, here we go. Pump them out. Look at you. Yeah, but Bobby, that's a lot of plastic. That's a lot. Now that shipping is quadrupled in price, and that's got to be 10, 15 pounds, right, Bobby? That game is heavy. That game's heavy. There's a lot of stuff in there. And yeah, once their molds are made, pump them out. But still, that's the market right now. I was listening to a podcast. The game market is actually contracting right now, right? It saw a lot of growth and expansion during COVID, as because also though, right, 2019 going into when COVID hit, gaming and the hobby was going like this, and then COVID hit, and it's like everybody's stuck in their houses with family and roommates and whatever. So play board games. You can get them delivered. You can play them online with your friends. Play board games, right? So the market actually stayed up pretty good. And now with the economy and inflation and all that good stuff, and then the shipping crisis, right? The shipping crisis really hurt a lot of things. You're seeing the smaller game companies, right, start to go away, like shutter their doors. Now there'll be new ones uh, coming back, and the mainstays will always be there. But it's really going to be like a interesting time for the game industry, like this next year or two. Well, hopefully things kind of level out. It's not going anywhere, right? Gen Con's still going to be huge and probably have record numbers. Origins is hopefully going to be big. I They kind of make some weird decisions sometimes, but we'll see. We'll see. But game game publishers are being more selective with the games they're picking up and how many titles they're going to be producing. I wouldn't be I wouldn't be surprised if Pandasaurus doesn't have like a big hit again, like soon. I'm just wondering. I'm wondering about Pandasaurus. I'm calling my shot. Calling my shot. Because they kind of skyrocketed up really high, and then they've been cranking out games and cranking out games. But I don't know that any of them have been like absolutely amazing. Maybe I'm forgetting something. I hope I am. I hope I'm wrong. Um, but I don't know. Big companies should try to make it up if they didn't deliver. You mean like deliver as in like the Great Western Trail, or not Great Western Trail, Western Legends, like, oh, the insert wasn't good, so we're going to do it again. No, they're not going to do it again. They're not. Colossal ain't that big. It ain't that big. It's a couple of guys. It's not that big. Um, Asmodee, yeah, Asmodee, but they're not going to do it because Asmodee already got your money, and that's how big corporations are. They're not going to give anybody anything back. It'll just be you know, hopefully you can spin public relations and PR back your way. Let it all die down a little bit, and then maybe get another title that's undeniable, right? That people will love and freak out. Yeah, yeah. Asmodee will sell you a new insert. Yeah, and it might even just be the leftovers that they had from the first print run. Um, Yeah, and I don't know. Nick's new instructions probably. I mean, that seems like it would be helpful, but it still seems like the overall quality of the insert was also part of the issue with the wood. Like there were these rings, I guess. Camilla was saying that they were like break, and they didn't tell you that they gave you extra ones. And again, in her logic was that means they know they were bad, and she may be right. She may be right. And maybe there was just lucky that extra space and they put in extra rings, but probably not. So they probably knew that was going to be like a fiddly piece. Be ready. And she also commented about like there being sandpaper included in it, and I don't know that that's a negative for me. I'd be like, oh, sweet, like thank you. I don't have to go get sandpaper because I don't expect something that is laser cut from wood that then you punch out and have to assemble to be perfect like 100%. Because Broken Token, I've had to like, really work some of that stuff. The Daedalus, I've really had to kind of work those wood pieces together. I mean, heck, even the folded space, you can really be kind of jamming them in there. So I didn't see the sandpaper as a negative. I think she was already pretty sour and pretty upset, and it just didn't make it. It didn't make it better. Which is worse, stating an honest negative opinion or saying you'll ruin somebody for their negative opinion? Yeah, ruining somebody for their negative opinion is garbage, right? But this guy wasn't. Well, he. I will say, lost my meeples. He did say that Dice Tower could go out there and just say whatever they want and they'll be fine. And to an extent, he's right, because it were like fringe people that were making these horrible comments. But unfortunately, that's the world we live in right now, right? Like, you can get on any board game Facebook group, Discord group, and everybody's like, yes, like, let's peace and love. Let's all love each other. Like, yes, we love gamers. And then you've got these people that still hang out in those groups, but then they get home and they just, or they get in their own little thing and they can just keyboard warrior and go nuts. I don't think you threaten anybody ever for anything. It's not cool. You just shouldn't do it, right? But nobody's perfect. But we as content creators also do have a responsibility to not be irresponsible. Like, I would, if let's just say, okay, let's just use Foundations of Rome, a game I don't like. I don't like Foundations of Rome. And I could say, I don't think it's worth your money. I don't think you should buy it. Now, am I going to go and berate other people or shame other people for buying that game or enjoying that game? No, no. And if you came up to me and didn't know me and you're like, oh, I love Foundations of Rome, it's one of my favorite games, I'd be like, that's awesome, man. Like, can you believe the production value on that game? I will talk to them about, all the great things about that game. It's fine. If they ask me to play it, I'll even play it. But, yeah, yeah, yeah. Bob would never threaten anyone. What's that help sign? Like, if you're being abused and you need help, that's what my Thanos gauntlet back there is doing. It's giving that sign. Bob's gonna come for me. But no, it's really tough, and I think I think that Lost My Meeples is unfortunately, getting the brunt of some of that fringe group, and I don't think Dice Tower did anything wrong. I've watched that video twice, and I was like, no, this is very fair. They explain all the reasons coherently and very well, like in depth of the issues that they had with the box and the insert. So, they did a good job. Kudos to them. And yeah, Mike definitely deserves. He's not here. I was 13 minutes late. Mike is 42 minutes late. That's even worse. And I'm getting off in like 10 minutes because I want to go watch the full 42 like everybody else should go do. And I hope most of you can come back tomorrow. We're gonna have a topic. We might ask Dan to come on or have a guest, and that would be awesome. And if you're in the Discord, we're talking about revisiting. You want to talk about a game we gave a negative review, and I think we all gave a negative review. I think we're going to revisit Great Wall, and that is going to be interesting. We're going to do 3 players, and we're going to use the Black Powder expansion. And it's funny because, again, Mike shared in the comments, we flipped out over this one general being used, this character that gives you an asymmetric power, right? And we're like, oh my gosh, that thing is so broken. It's terrible. And then, we got killed in not killed, but we had a lot of comments on that video. Like, no, it's not broken. We went to BGG forums. We asked there, no, it's not broken. That's the way they intended it. And now they've nerfed that dude in the second edition. Totally nerfed him and made him what appears to be playable from what I remember the game. Like much more reasonable. So we were right. Is what that is saying to me is that we were right. I really want to play Great Wall at least one more time. I want to play it with the optimal player count, 3 apparently, and I'm going to try with the Black Powder expansion. And if that doesn't work, I'm going to trade it. I'm going to trade it. And yeah, so I my gosh, it's been over a year since we've done that review. And if I remember correctly, that game does a lot of things that I think are really cool that just didn't come together in a cohesive way. So it's kind of like I don't know. It's like I should like this. It's got this, I like that. It's got this and I like that. But for whatever reason, when you put it together, no. Um, and yeah, Bobby, why nerf something that wasn't broken? Unless we were right. I'm just gonna say we were right. You could go back and watch that video. I don't know if you want to though. We've improved so much since then. We're even getting better. I will share in the Discord. We got new cameras for the studio, and I thought our cameras were already pretty good, but supposedly these things are even better. I'm really excited. They've even got like tally lights on the top, so when we do like a live, we can know what camera to look at and stuff if we've got somebody switching between them. It's going to be awesome. I am so excited. We're going to take one of them to Origins and at least one of them to Gen Con. But yeah, we'll be there walking around and going nuts with those things. And Jason, okay, so what you don't have to put in your South Bend bag is any Awakened Realms games, because between me and Dan, I think we've got most of them, and Spencer, I think we've got them all. We've got Great Wall, we've got Tainted Grail, we've got Lords of Hellas, we've got both Nemesis. Spencer has ISS Vanguard. I believe he's got the Ether Fields, right? And then Mike backed Lords of Ragnarok, and I'm sure Bobby did too. So yeah, we've got every Awakened Realms game you could want between all of us, and you don't have to put any of the effort in. We'll do it for you. As I guarantee anybody walks into town, just stands at the border, at the city limits line, steps into town and goes, "Who wants to play Lords of Hellas?" Dan will mysteriously appear behind you and be like, "Okay, where are we playing? When?" It will happen. It's really weird. It's like Dan's one useless superpower. He's got a superpower. That's it. It's to show up to play Lords of Hellas whenever anyone wants to. And no, Bob, that is not Awakened Realms. That is not. I think nerfs things all the time, and they don't get any flack for it. Oh, I see what you did there, David. Oh boy, that took me a second. So yeah, I challenge anybody to come into city limits and say, actually, it's like you got to look into a mirror and you say Lords of Hellas 3 times, and then Dan appears behind you. If he doesn't kill you, he plays the game with you. It's one or the other. Yeah. It says free minis on the side instead of free candy, which is how he got Bob, ironically. But it's a good thing is because Bob carries, so he was able to escape, and it worked out pretty well for everybody. All things considered. But yeah. I think we have all of the big box Awakened Realms stuff. I think even Spencer has their small game. What was it, like Knockout? I think is what it was, where it's like almost looks like a side scroller. And the first mini is free, kids. You know what, man? I got tons of extra minis. So, and Nick's, yeah, that's probably, at least a few years ago, that would have definitely been a way to get me. Now, I think I have too many. I need to do like an Origins, pre-Origins purge, and get rid of some stuff so I can make room for new stuff. Wouldn't that be amazing? Also, holy crap, I got to play Giga Robo before Origins because I bought that game at Origins last year and I've still not played it. I painted it. I painted poorly. I painted almost all of the minis for it, which was my goal to do before playing. So Great Wall, Giga Robo. Those are some games we got to get into and get going. I wish more of you guys were going to be at Origins. I think only a few people that I know of are going to be there, and man, I'm dying for that. I'm excited. We want to hang out with more people, and is this War of Mine? That might be Awaken Realms, maybe. I only played that once. That was rough. And yeah, Bob, I know you'll be there. You barely count. We'll probably be sharing a bed. Spoiler alert, Bob and I are secure enough that when we have to share our hotel room, we just sleep in the same bed. We snuggle. It's cool. So yeah, if he's not there, it'll feel really weird because I'll either be sharing the bed with somebody else or by myself, and it'll be I won't be able to sleep with that much room. It'll be really weird. And then yes, so can confirm. Bob looked it up. This War of Mine is Awaken Realms, and that game is really difficult. I only played it once. I played it at I think it was at a Geekway. Yeah, I played it at Geekway, and man, that game kicked our asses. But that's the only time I played it. Didn't feel like it felt kind of like Dead of Winter without the zombies. There we go. But yeah, I don't know if you guys have played this War of Mine or not, or Dead of Winter for that matter. Dead of Winter is now getting to be, that used to be like the hot game, everybody was freaking out about. And I mean, it's getting pretty old now. It's got to be 8 years old, maybe. And in the board game industry, right? The hobby industry, anything over a year old is practically ancient, right? Smartphone was all the rage except for Dan. And that you never hear anybody talk about smartphone anymore. I guess you still have people who talk about Wingspan, but that's because they keep putting out expansions for it. Same thing with like Terraforming Mars. I think Terraforming Mars will die a death when they stop making stuff for it. But I think there's like a dice game coming out for it soon, so it's not going anywhere. And yeah, Nix, where's your other hand? Between two pillows. Those aren't pillows. Yeah. DOW was your first or second game? Dead of Winter. I was like, what? Your first that you played or you owned, Dan? Just asking. Okay, guys, I'm gonna wrap this up because it's like 8:51 and we're getting close. And what Bob just said, please, 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 please interact with the video. Give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Give us something just to say, hey, it is the other than just watching, it is the best way that you can support us. Let's get in with that algorithm so we can continue to grow this stream and grow the channel. We do have a Patreon. If that's your bag, you're welcome to go over there, check it out, and we're happy to have you. But honestly, like we say all the time, you guys being here is what it's all about, and interacting with you guys. It is fantastic, super fun, and y'all are awesome. So I apologize for the short stream, but it's better than nothing. I wanted to get something out there, and so that, yeah, we'll be back tomorrow. We'll be going longer. I'll be drinking some of that stuff there. Mike's gonna be talking about a lot of games that he played at my sister's house over the weekend with Bobby, and I'm super jealous that I didn't get to go, but it's life, man. It's what happens. So anyways, hope to see all of you tomorrow. Don't forget thumbs up on your way out, and yeah, be good, keep playing games. We'll see you next time.